The Coin Lady channel is pleased to have you back. It's amazing to watch, especially for those who don't think of themselves as XRP members. Here, I'll show you, Bitcoin self-proclaimed traders. I need to compile a long list, but I've started, and there are more signs that we may not have reached the peak of this market cycle. However, I must emphasize that I am not providing financial advice and do not possess any sort of financial experience. By the way, you shouldn't base any purchases or sales on what I say, okay? For fun and as a pastime, I create videos on YouTube discussing cryptocurrency and related subjects. I'm just an enthusiast. Here we go. XRP is at slightly over 56 cents, Bitcoin is at $52,235, and this video is being recorded at 5:58 p.m. Central Time on Sunday, February 18, 2024. In less than 2 minutes, we will see an update to the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. The market capitalization of the entire asset class is around $2 trillion. This will be updated in a minute and shown here. Excuse me, but I will hit refresh once we arrive. The Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, however, is at 72 right now, and it updates only once every 24 hours. So we'll find out as soon as I select Update on this item. Just to clarify, I was keeping track of one particularly greedy day in January of this year. I should have clarified that. This isn't even a slightly revised version. However, I was incorrect in thinking that there were only 2 days of severe avarice. You can add those 2 instances of excessive avarice to the 2 that occurred in February, yesterday being one of them. Extreme greed is here for only 4 days. If you're interested in looking at the screen, you can find it down here. The following timeline for the Crypto Fear and Greed Index is what you see on your screen. Look, I've been saying this for a while now, but if this is the market peak, then okay. There are a lot of reasons why this isn't your run-of-the-mill blow-off top frenzy. So, the cycle's bottom is 4 days away. We were given 4 days, and tremendous greed more than a year ago. It's done. It seems like every day was a massive recharge if you look at this from the end of 2020, before we even hit the highs. Any number of dates equal to or greater than 76 is considered severe avarice, as you can see from the screen. Any number greater than 76. What happens if this is the peak? Well, respected analysts are arguing otherwise, so there's solid reason to think we're already there. Bitcoin, on the other hand, could flutter around a little higher. Perhaps it will occur for a few months, though. Nonetheless, this is essentially it. Let them be correct if they are. A lot of things make it seem dubious, though, so I thought I'd point it up. I wanted to briefly reiterate this piece that I published the other day in case anybody missed it. Additionally, I would like to quickly review this again because there are a few items that I need to include in this list. This, however, is what I wrote on February 15th. Crypto isn't exactly a whirlwind of enthusiasm, but it's still there. There has been a complete absence of crypto-related news in the media, including celebrity endorsements, Super Bowl advertising, laser eyes, and phone calls from loved ones inquiring about cryptocurrency. Since the market began to rise more than a year ago, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index has shown only 2 days of strong greed. Accordingly, if we are indeed at the cycle top, the evidence I presented is highly anomalous. Therefore, I maintain that it's alright if this is truly the peak, even without a mania. Mania and euphoria are terms used to describe this by some. There is no way I can make out that sight. This isn't new to me, I've dealt with similar situations before. By a large number of measures, it does not appear to be the case. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index will be updated here. It is currently sitting at 75. So, it's not excessive greed, it's just greed. I've got anything fresh to add to the list, though. Sam Callahan is the one who sent this. Despite being 5% behind its all-time high, Bitcoin's retail trade volume on Coinbase is already above $50,000. This is related to something I mentioned a couple of days ago, or maybe even earlier, as one of the things I was sharing with you. However, chart analyst Ali Martinez presented a graph demonstrating that daily Bitcoin address creation has been trending downward recently, coinciding with an upward trend in Bitcoin price. He concludes that this indicates that the price hike is coming from institutions rather than individual consumers, since there has been no recent uptick in retail uptake. Not at all, and certainly not in any very noteworthy way. Therefore, I believe this provides support. Keep an eye on things. Because it's back, and as you can see from your screen, customer trade volume on Coinbase increased in the fourth quarter. So, where has this been emanating from all along? The reason being that Coinbase is a huge cryptocurrency exchange, and the vines are really low compared to the 85% peak we saw in 2021. Is this truly the pinnacle, then? Once more, does it really exist, and do the experts who predict that it does intervene? I see. I understand. I mean, obviously, I'm cool with that. That is the truth. I mean, it would be completely bizarre. Assuming this was the final stage, I simply wanted to mention that we didn't see many fresh individuals jumping. That hasn't been observed by us. But that's part of what makes it awesome, too. These levels are being observed at the moment. Things are going to go really crazy later on this year, I imagine, and the retail frenzy hasn't even begun yet. Another point to think about is this. The source of this information is Pintoshi, a chart analyst with 754,000 plus followers on X social media. And here is the whole market cap of all cryptocurrencies, total 3, not including Bitcoin and Ethereum, in this chart, and we're back to the second half of 2017. This is what he puts down on paper. The same here, nothing has shown up just yet. When everything is said and done, we might see this. A few trillion were reached by this cycle. Until we reach new heights, we haven't even begun. However, the cycle's winners are emerging, and they should, in theory, offer much larger potential rewards. I see. And I find it to be very reasonable, because it looked like frenzy and was totally absurd when Bitcoin got in the top 40,000 range and even into the 50,000 range during the last market cycle. I included all of those things in my posts, Bitcoin, skyrocketing Google searches, and everything else, so you get the idea. I put out an X just a short time ago, that was everything. Nevertheless, now is not the time. As you can see, we have surpassed the all-time high of 3 from 2017. Where is all the excitement? I sense a great deal of enthusiasm. I sense a great deal of enthusiasm. There is a great deal of enthusiasm, but maniacal joy. Please tell me where I'm mistaken. And this is what you can see. When compared to the previous market cycle, we are light years behind in all 3 categories. Plus, it's comforting to know that enthusiasm is high. Additionally, there is some greed, but it is not excessive, and there is no euphoria or mania. I find that somewhat intriguing. I think it's vital to evaluate these variables, and that's all. One could conclude that this might be an indication of what we can expect later this year, or even sooner. I am experiencing genuine joy. Seriously, you're going to be completely out there. Do you not believe that if we fail to notice that? I'm not completely insane to believe that. So, I'm thinking about compiling a long list of them and then maybe presenting them all at once, or maybe simply bringing it up here and there. In any case, I felt compelled to bring this up since I am unsure as to whether or not these specific bits of information are well recognized. Things are how they are. Also, this net one brought it up. I mean, I've never been the one to push the idea that ETFs are the reason Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. I just thought that was completely ridiculous. Although prices have been rising again despite my prediction that the news event would cause a sell-off, I have previously voiced my belief that the positive impact of Bitcoin ETFs will be understated in the long run. I remain convinced of that, and I fail to understand how you can imagine that BlackRock will fail and that this investment vehicle would be successful if you disagree. Even if many expected it to lead to a rise in the price of Bitcoin by now, it has already been tremendously successful. It is still tremendously successful, even though I didn't, and we're only scratching the surface of this. Crypto announced this morning with the following breaking news. With 105,280 Bitcoins in circulation, BlackRock currently owns 4.8% of the total supply. In just one day, the value of Bitcoin surpassed $5.1 billion. In the United States, financial institutions are preparing to trade alternative cryptocurrencies, which is bringing about a new age of widespread acceptance and driving up the price of cryptocurrencies. I still believe it will lead to long-term price increases, but ETF investors will want to cash out sooner rather than later, especially when dealing with a 234x increase in such a short time, because those in traditional finance aren't used to such rapid price increases and may be eager to get in on the action. However, 5% of all Bitcoins are held by BlackRock, and when you consider all the corporations that own Bitcoin, you'll see that certainly, it constitutes more than 1% of the total supply. This has only been out for a little over a month, and in terms of time, it's absolutely unbelievable, less than 30 days, if you include only business days. Bitcoins have been in circulation for 15 years, and in just over a month, more than 1% of all Bitcoins will be natural. This will definitely become popular. As time goes on, this will undeniably have a positive and substantial effect on Bitcoin's demand dynamics. Well, that's the end of the video. Leave a comment with your opinions. And, as always, we ask that you like and subscribe. Muchas gracias, depart.